As many of you know, I'm the worship pastor here at my church. And while I've always led with keyboard and with piano, 2 years ago, I decided that I wanted to be able to start to lead with both electric and acoustic guitar because it lets you be a little bit more free and move across the stage. However, I came across a dilemma, and that dilemma was, am I supposed to have two completely separate setups, one just for my acoustic guitar and one for my electric guitar? That would mean I would have a pedal board for my acoustic guitar, I would have a pedal board for my electric guitar, as well as an amp for my electric guitar. Now, while that is totally doable, and I'm sure some of you have setups like that, I wanted to do something that wasn't so expensive and something that was a little bit more practical for me because I'm not the main guitar player here at this church. I just simply wanted to be able to play rhythm acoustic and rhythm electric, but have an awesome setup that both sounded really good and worked for both guitars together. And that's where I asked my friend Emmanuel to help me build a pedal board and a setup that would work great for both guitars. So I want to share that with you today. Now, I'll have him explain to you exactly how it's built and everything that goes into it. But first, I want to show you what it sounds like. So I'm going to grab my electric guitar here and we're going to play a little bit and have you hear exactly what it sounds like. And now let's hear what it sounds like on acoustic guitar. And now that you've heard what it sounds like on both electric and acoustic guitar, I want to introduce you to the guy, my friend Emmanuel, who put this all together.
My name is Emmanuel Montian, and I'm the lead guitar player here at Sunnyvale International Church. Pastor Abe came to me with the mission of making a pedal board that served two purposes. That was a pedal board that could be used for electric and acoustic guitar. And honestly, I was so stoked when he came to me asking for help because pedal boards and guitar and gear is what I do. It's what I've been doing for the last 15 years. And I really wanted to build something of quality, but also at the same time, have it be simple enough that he wouldn't have to tap dance around on a Sunday morning and he could do lead the congregation to worship. If we take a look at the pedal board, it might look a little complicated, but it's honestly consists of 4 major pedals. So at the start of the chain, we have a Line 6 G10 wireless guitar unit. So this allows him to pretty much move around the stage without having a cable attached to his guitar. So it's great quality. I've used it for the last 6-8 years, and the special thing about it is that we have 2 transmitters, one on his acoustic and one on his electric, and the switch is pretty seamless. We turn off one transmitter and turn on the other. That's pretty much all it takes to switch between the two. So from there, we go over to the Polytune tuner. It's great. It's a great tuner. A lot of people use the Boss chromatic tuner, but I prefer this one just because it's a little more accurate and it's a lot brighter on brightly lit stages. From there, we go over to the Deep 6 Walrus Audio. This compressor, I love it. It's industry standard, and pretty much we have everything set at 12 o'clock. We don't want the sound to be very compressed. We just want it to be rounded out. The only thing we might change from any given Sunday is the level. Depending on the guitar that Pastor Abe uses, that's what we would change. Going from the Walrus Audio Deep 6, we go over to probably what has to be the queen of all delay pedals, which is the Strymon L-Cap. The Strymon L-Cap is a tape delay echo, and to me, it's probably the best sounding delays out there. So the king of delay pedals is probably the Strymon Timeline, but this is its little brother. We have it set pretty simple. This pedal can do a lot more things than what we actually use it for, but this is Pastor Abe's main dotted eighth note delay sound. The L-Cap comes with onboard reverb, so we don't have to really use a reverb block on the HX Stomp, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But the L-Cap is great. It sounds amazing, it has onboard reverb, and it has a tap delay, which we use to tap in the tempo of the songs for every song any given Sunday. So from the L-Cap, we go over to what I consider to be the brains of this pedal board. Guys, this is one of the best purchases you can make, whether you're a worship leader that plays electric or you're a lead guitar player on a budget. The HX Stomp has to be my favorite unit. So we have two presets on the Line 6 HX Stomp. One is for electric, the other one's for acoustic. So let's tackle the electric one first. It's pretty simple. I have a Helix, a full-blown Helix, and I use around 24 blocks for every given preset. But for Pastor Abe's preset, he's mainly playing rhythm guitar player. So we were pretty strategic on the amount of DSP we were using on every patch. So at the start of the chain, we use a Minotaur, which is pretty much a clone copy. And it's a very transparent overdrive that could get really clean depending on how your pick dynamic is. So the lighter you pick, the cleaner it gets. And as you dig into the strings, it breaks up as a normal tube amp would. And I love it. We pretty much, we clicked the block and we fine-tuned it. We EQ'd it a little bit, but pretty much these overdrive blocks from Helix sound amazing. So from there, we're gonna go over to the amp, and he uses a matchless amp with the channel 2 version on it. This amp, it probably has to be one of the best sounding amps that Helix has to offer. It could do everything from cleans to pretty dirty overdrive tones. And on any given Sunday, the only thing that we probably have to change on it is the EQ on it, whether it is bringing up or down the treble, the bass, or the mid. It's a well-rounded amp. It sounds amazing for worship tones. Most worship guitar players either use a matchless or a Vox, AC30 kind of style. But I prefer a matchless for the kind of playing that Pastor Abe is doing. And after that block, we hit a reverb, which is a huge, almost swell sounding reverb, but he only uses that once in a while. Mainly we use the reverb from the El Capistan. Switching presets, we have an acoustic patch, which, it's super bare bones. You don't need a lot of tuning to make acoustic guitar sound good. All we have is the Line 6 Studio preamp on that preset, which just beefs it up, adds a little bit of warmth to the sound, making it cut through the mix, but also not to the point where it hurts your ears. And the acoustic guitars have that tendency to sound very, very thin, and with a studio preamp, it rounds it out and makes it sound so good. So on every Sunday, Pastor Abe has the ability to switch from either his electric guitar rig or his acoustic. Again, I like to reiterate the fact that the signal's going in through all these pedals, regardless if it's electric guitar or acoustic. This works for both setups. The beauty of the HX Stomp is that it allows us to run overdrives on the HX Stomp. If we had actual overdrive pedals on the pedal board, it wouldn't sit well with the acoustic guitar signal path. That's why we run all of our dry effects into the HX Stomp. Other than that, we have the board wired up with D'Addario cables that we built ourselves, and we also are running the Ojai Strymon pedal power supply, which supplies power for the entire rig. And the last thing that you guys will see on the pedal board is the Disaster Area DMC6, which is a MIDI controller that Pastor Abe uses to control all of our Ableton tracks and cues on every Sunday. Our goal was to make a dual compatible setup for both electric and acoustic guitars, and I believe we accomplished that goal. Pastor Abe doesn't need to be worrying about tap dancing around the altar or worrying about his tap tempo or his overdrive gain stages. His goal and job is to lead the congregation into God's presence. And I believe with this pedal board and with these selected pedals, we accomplished that goal.
I hope that you've enjoyed the video, found it useful, and are able to take some of the things that you learned here today and apply it to your current pedal board setup. And please let me know down below in the comment section what your Sunday pedal board setup looks like, because I'm always looking to add new things to my pedal board. And as always, please remember to comment, like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, my name is Abraham Zuniga from Church Convos, and I will see you soon. Peace.